I'm 56 from the U.S. From North Carolina originally, so live in Hawaii now. So flew all the way from Hawaii here. So the question as far as why I'm here, to me, a lot of the other conflicts are gray, but this conflict is definitely black and white. This is about good versus evil.
The fact is what this guy was doing. He's obviously something of a crazy person, and the way that I currently see it, just based on extremely preliminary research, is that this guy appeared to have been some sort of, as I see it, it appears likely that this person was some sort of subcontractor of a subcontractor for the recruitment effort to bring people from Pakistan to Ukraine. Now, there was a big influx after 2014 of ISIS fighters to Ukraine. They were basically trying to stuff up bodies almost for the past 7 years to try to top up the ability for the Kiev government to retake eastern Ukraine. And the idea that this person was just a humble construction worker from North Carolina, this guy was involved in the mass acquisition of passports from people from the most intense CIA conflict zones that we have. And his whole Facebook, I've archived hundreds of these posts where he's talking about, I've got thousands of passports. Send me your passport. Send me your passport. I need your passport because the only way I can bring you is if you is to get you a visa is if you send me over WhatsApp a copy of your passport. His website actually has instructions for all these ISIS fighters, effectively, to come to Ukraine, saying, don't talk to your local embassy. He says this twice on his website in big, bold, all caps. Do not talk to your local embassy first. Literally, send me your passport info, get on a plane, go straight to Ukraine, or go to Poland and then take a bus to Ukraine. Don't tell anybody. And when you understand, so I talked about this last night, but there's a whistleblower named Michael Springman, who is the chief of the visa division of the Jeddah consulate, the U.S. State Department's Jeddah consulate in Saudi Arabia, in the run-up to 9/11. And he wrote a book called Visas for Terrorists. And it was about how everybody around him at the U.S. consulate in Jeddah was working for the CIA. The CIA is basically the underside of the State Department. They just do the covert work, the plausibly deniable work that the State Department wants to do, but has to effectively outsource to them. And so he was talking about how basically everybody else at the embassy, everybody else at the consulate was CIA, including his State Department boss, who was also working for the CIA. And remember, at the time in Saudi Arabia, John Brennan was the chief of station for the CIA in Saudi Arabia. John Brennan would then go on to be the head of the CIA, the entire CIA for the Obama administration. But in this book, Visas for Terrorists, he talks about how people were showing up with shady or fraudulent passports, and that he was told by the CIA folks around him and by his boss, who is again working with the Saudi CIA there, to issue these no-look visas to fraudulent passports in order to bring people to the United States bring terrorists to the United States for military training, to move terrorists around the world. And this guy, Ryan Ruth, appeared to be doing the exact same thing. In fact, some of his posts even show that he appeared to have been working with, in his own words, the U.S. Embassy in Kiev. So this guy is working with the State Department. He's doing effectively military intelligence, human trafficking of terrorists, and he's even back channeling to get no-look visas for these terrorists. So it's kind of extraordinary how deep the rabbit hole goes on this. I don't think he would have been formally employed by the agency. I think the agency worked with a subcontractor. The subcontractor worked with dozens or maybe hundreds of people like Ryan Ruth, whose jobs were to scour Telegram and social media and WhatsApp for interested people from the Arab world to come to Ukraine to provide additional, human cannon fodder for the war on Russia.